Good morning. Good morning. Again, good morning. Here we go. It's so good to see all your bright and shining faces. Beautiful summer day that we're having. While I introduce these two, see the man wandering around the orange shirt over there? That's Kent Marcum. He is Joshua's dad. 35 plus years ago, Kent took his whole family, along with 4 or 5 other families, and they went down to Ecuador to start evangelizing for the Lord. And so here we are today. And so they're going to present the work for you this morning. It's my wonderful, wonderful privilege to get to introduce Joshua Marcum. And he's become a really good friend. And of course, Kent always has been. And Kent's like that all the time. He's always busy. So I'm going to hand it off to you. Let's have a prayer just really quick, okay? Father God, we just praise you and bless you and thank you for all you do for us, because we know our very breath, our very life, our very existence is solely dependent upon you. Father, help us always have the attitude where we're always thankful and always mindful of how you provide for us and how we owe you everything. And we just thank you for this life that you've given us, for the work that you've handed to us, and we just thank you so much that we've been blessed with the Marcum family. Please be with them as they present this morning. These things we ask in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Try that. You guys hear me? Testing. Guess you'll turn it up as I keep talking. Buenos dias. Good morning. What a privilege to be with you. Somebody was asking me, when did you get in? I couldn't remember really, because I took a red eye sometime Friday night and got here sometime yesterday. So, but it is a blessing to be here. I think it's been, Rod, how long has it been? 4 or 5 years since I've been able to present here at the church, and so I wasn't sure what to expect. Independence Day and all that, and Independence Day weekend. Hope that was good for you. Like I said, I was on the plane, so I know no fireworks for me. And I put this. When I was putting this together, I was thinking, well, I know Dad usually presents, so. And I often, when I go places, have to say, okay, well, I'm the Josh Marcum family, and Kent's my father. This is my family. When we came to Ecuador, I guess, well, I should back up from there. A missionary kid went, and as I was 11, so I spent junior high and high school as a missionary kid in Quito. We did a tour, 5-year tour in Cochabamba, Bolivia, and planted a church there before I actually got back to Ecuador with my family. And you can kind of see us in the top right. Is that right? Yeah, you're right. My kids would correct me on stage left or whatever. I don't know. That's how old they were when we got there. And now we've been there for 14 years. Cochabamba was 5, so yes, long time on the field. And we're kind of looking at a lot of transitions. My second is going to OC starting in August. Anybody else going to OC or sending? Hey, all right. Eliana Marcum. So hopefully we can touch base. I'd like her to meet some people. And my oldest, Michaela, is at Lipscomb. She's starting her junior year in International Affairs and Bible. I told her she's going to be an ambassador no matter what she does, so that'll be good. So we're making a lot of transitions. As a family, a lot of my kids coming back this way, we're starting to think, okay, well, if all the kids are here, maybe we need to start transitioning out of the field. We want to, right now, the plans, this is a Lord willing plan, is my youngest, he's going to be a freshman in high school, and he would really like to finish out on the field. So we'll probably be there another 4 years. But I wanted to start with a kind of a transition passage. It's kind of obscure. It's in Joshua 5. If you have your Bibles, it'll be Joshua 5. The Lord's taken Israel through the desert. He has not allowed the previous generation to go into the promised land. They didn't cut it. It says they didn't obey. But he has a new generation, and he's transitioning. He's letting them go into the promised land. But he does something right before conquering Jericho, right after they've come across the waters of the Jordan. He wants to consecrate them. He wants to consecrate them, and he does that by the circumcision. This is really weird because they're in campaign mode, wartime, and he's saying, you're going to be vulnerable before me because I'm going to go before you. So Joshua 5, I'll just start in 9. The Lord said to Joshua, today I have rolled away the approach of Egypt from you, and the place was called Gilgal to this day. The evening of the 14th month, while the camp at Gilgal on the plains of Jericho, the Israelites celebrated the Passover. What were they celebrating? God's actions in the past. The manna stopped. The day after this, they ate this food from the land, and there was no longer any manna for the Israelites. But that year they ate of the produce of Canaan. I think Operation Ecuador is probably in one of these stages where we're looking at transition. I know South Yukon and their involvement with, let me go forward. I think I have I go backwards. I'll get back to that. You guys have been involved in Operation Ecuador for over 2 decades. Rod, I didn't get to see Gary wherever he is. Anyway, Ken, there's several of you that have been so involved in what God has been doing in Ecuador for so long. And as we look at a time going forward, we probably are looking with transition. By the way, these are transition lenses. I'm just now getting used to them. Both my wife and I this year. I'm kind of glad it happened at the same time. She's 2 years younger than me. But both of us have transition lenses. And it's nice because you got to see up close, but you also need to see far, right? And the far, the depth, the vision is there, but we also need to look at and see where we are at as a mission going forward. A mission committed to places like Santo Domingo, where we've already exited our help, and now Loja as we're exiting. I get to be with the missions committee a little more later. But God, when He's putting Israel in the promised land, He said, guess what? I'm kicking you out of the nest. You're going to OC. You're going to be making some transitions, and I'm not going to be leading you by the hand as much. But I'm going to be entrusting you that you will obey me. Unfortunately, they didn't always obey. Let's go forward. I was just going to say, my family right now, we're just at this crossroads. We want to. When we first came, Lord blessed everything, allowing us to be there. Enoch gave us residency, and Dad wanted to be more toward the farm and helping Granddad out as he ended his time here on earth. And God has blessed the last 14 years. But now we're looking at the next 4 and seeing ways that God can help transition and help this work be even more so on its own. Those of you who don't know Ecuador, how many people have gone down to Ecuador? Have a few. Okay, all right. Ecuador is right under Colombia, right above Peru, little country, but has quite a varied landscape. I live in the mountains, in the Sierra region, in the mountains. There's the coast. We have churches that we planted on the coast as well, and the Amazon region. This is probably, the Amazon region is less populated, and we'd like to do more work there. But Operation Ecuador just kind of blossomed from a dream that Dad and those original missionaries had of, let's plant a church in the north part of Quito, and then, well, I guess we need a training center for these new disciples, and Well, what about a camp? I wonder if God could help us with a camp. And that camp has been a blessing because now we're seeing generations after generations going there. You guys know what camps, I don't know, I went to Lujo when I was growing up. But I'm sure there's some other ones. But that camp has been a blessing. Kumani mission among the Chachi and the Afro-Ecuadorians. God just continued to blossom and help this work grow forward. Dad's going to show a video of the complete Operation Ecuador, and I did give them that, Dad, during the sermon time. But I've mainly tried to dedicate myself to the QSOBS and to the teams. And I know that's kind of busy up there, but that's kind of the way the work is, too. There's a lot going on. God's given the increase, but it feels drug behind the horse sometimes because he's going forward at a pace that we're trying to keep up with. Dad is mostly working with the medical missions. I'm mostly working with the teams and the Quito School of Biblical Studies. Here, maybe that's a little easier, a little bit. Trying to remember, I can't find my slides here. That's my team at the school. We are, again, going through some transitions right now that I want to tell you about. Some of these people have retired, but in general, this is the Quito School of Biblical Studies, both faculty and workers, and Mom and Dad were in this picture, so I wanted to put this one up there because they've been an integral part since the beginning. At the school, we have currently 35 students and their families, so that's a lot to keep up with. We try to not only just give them education, we want to form them into the image of Christ while they're with us. So even the faculty, every week we take a mentoring group, and that's mine right there up in the corner, that we pray with them and we talk to them and see how they're doing and become that kind of mentor disciple relationship while we're there. So yes, we have from Cuba, we have from Peru, we have right now Bolivia. 60% of our student body is from outside of Ecuador now. We're very much international going forward. And I love it. I love being with them. I love being able to see them being more prepared into the image of Christ. But this year we've tried to do a little bit of realignment, rethinking. We had a director from Ecuador. I gave that spot up in 2021. Dad gave it up to me in 2014. And this year in 2025, we're going to a model that's not seen very often in our universities or even schools of preaching. We're going to a leadership team because as a team, we're able to fill in the gaps and use our spiritual giftedness that not everybody's going to have. Let me see if I have that right here. Yes. So the there are 3 faculty and me. I guess we're all faculty, and we all teach. We also have our own part of the pie where we are, where we're leading, in which we're leading. We have John doing more the students and the student director. We have Edgar, the academic, and me, I'm working mostly with reporting here in the U.S., administrative type things, and teams. And then Osvaldo's going more in the direction like he's always been interested in, that's a KEB Online, and that sort of thing. We're hoping, let me get back to this. We're hoping that this model not just be something good for us, but something good for Ecuador. Not only will it help us just strengthen those gaps where one person is going to be lacking in, but that we start modeling what it means to work as a team for churches that are entering into elderships. So I'm excited about it. We've already made some great progress distributing the responsibilities and that sort of thing. Okay, I told you busy. This is the busy part. This is our structure, but I'm going to try to go in order a little bit. We just now got a new administrator, Pablo Mena, and he's going to do a great job for us. His wife, right there, she's standing up now, but she was hit by a bus and ran over twice. Not recently, 20 years ago, and they thought she would pass away, but she is just a very integral part of the Cologne Church, and she's also a graduate of the school. So we're really glad to have him on board. There's some legal things that he's going to have to get up to speed on, but as far as people, administrating personnel, he's going to do a great job, and knowing the churches and just having a love for the Lord. Osvaldo, like I said, he wants to be more on the online program. He was the director from 2021 to this year, but now he's going to be sharing this responsibility. And actually, this was kind of his idea. So those of you with mission experience, this is not very common where people are willing to share leadership. So he is on board with this. Going to work with student advancement, especially with the entrepreneurial program. We want our students to not only have a biblical training, but they also do a technical skill while they're with us. John, he's going to mainly work with our students. He's a great people person. They can go to him with problems. But he's also doing various things with the men's program and that sort of thing. Again, all of us teach at the school, but we've divided these responsibilities up. Edgar focusing more on that academic side, registrar. And our PLM is a big part that he's going to start taking over, Dad. Some of this is news for Dad, and so I'm glad about this. He's going to be doing the leadership program that we do in the churches every 3 months. So we always pick a place. This one's in Cumani, but we're finishing up Esmeraldas there in Ecuador, and we're finishing up Cochabamba, Bolivia. Now we're talking to Paraguay or Spain for our international connection, and Guayaquil will be our national connection. Really excited about this because we can't have everybody come to Quito, but we can go to them. And a church opens their doors, leaders, elders, deacons, or those aspiring to be elders, come every 3 months for a whole weekend and take one of our programs, one of our courses. So we call it Programa de Liderazgo Ministerial, so it would be Ministerial Leadership Program, something like that in English. And this is a great way for us to go to the church and extend our influence around the globe. Tell me what time I'm supposed to stop. Is it 15 till? Okay. I was worried about that. I heard like some kind of Buddhist chimes and yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. There we go. Dad and I we're continue to be involved, him more from the state side and with Cumani, working with the medical missions and the Cumani mission. He's entrusted a whole lot to the administrator there, Alberto Guaman, and Alberto's doing a good job helping plant churches up and down the river there on the Cayapas. I'm working again with the financial side and being an enlace, I'm sorry, I can't think in English sometimes, a intermediary or facilitator with churches in the States and us. One of the cool things I get to do is help lead the university ministry team, and that is a student-led ministry. So a group of our students help lead that at the El Puente. Actually, that's us in front of the baptistry there at El Puente. So they go and do evangelistic type things. This year they've been very involved in puppet ministry and just using the bottom floor of our campus house for the university ministry program. Second level, those that have been able to see it, is the dorm space for the single guys. I enjoy every year we get a new group and we try to have at least one or two stay over so they can carry the program forward. But it's exciting to see them energize young adults we have about 6 universities within a 3-mile radius of the campus house. So about 96,000 students we can tap into. The other thing is I work with trying to raise funds, as Dad does, here in the States. We started a 501c3 2017 for people to help this work go forward as we go into the future. Those little keys, you can kind of see some keys on the wall there. Those are people that have said, we don't know what amount, and we don't either, but they're going to give something of their estate to the work. And the 100-fold campaign that we have right now is to have 100 keys up there, because we believe that this is God's field, and it will give 100-fold or more as we invest in it. Well, let me go to the teams video, and I think, is it Brad? No, we've changed. The man in the chair has changed. We'll do a teams video. This is kind of a history of our teams before I get into what you guys have done in Santo Domingo. Mostly I'll be talking about Loja, but this will give you an idea of that, and you can transition whatever.
As the Quito School of Biblical Studies, or the QSOBS, graduated its first class in 1999, the question arose, how do we launch these graduates to plant new churches? The answer was to send teams of graduates to strategic locations across Ecuador and beyond. Churches in the U.S. partnered with these teams, committing to support them for a 10-year period. Through this partnership, QSOBS graduates have successfully established over 16 churches with more than 25 additional grassroots church meetings. And since 2015, the QSOBS implemented even a more sustainable approach, encouraging evangelists to serve bivocationally until their church plant matured enough to support their ministers or operate independently. The following footage highlights the fruits of these efforts over the past 24 years.
Santo Domingo team will be in this first group of church plants. Venezuelan team in Venezuela. Nobody else can get there except them. Doing a great job. Marvelous receptivity there. Mila just got married this year. We're excited about that. Oh, that's it? Kind of quit on us. That was it. Okay, something happened. That's okay, because we didn't get to Loa. That's all right. Okay, well, is that the kind of problems you've been having, Dad? Dad, he's telling me sometimes I get there and the technology doesn't work. Well, that's to be expected. That's okay. The first bivocational team was you. You helped me. You actually believed in me enough to say, okay, we'll try it. We'll give it a go. They have a church has begun. Yes, we've had some team change in the last few years. There was a It was a family of 2, and now we're still at 2, but the Edwin's family and Juan's family are the ones carrying the work forward right now. It's kind of interesting. Juan and his family. Let me see if let me go in order. Okay, I'll get to Juan and his family. This is the Loja Church today. They're still renting this little space. They need a space where they can have children's time, like children's classes at the same time. We don't have that in place yet. We're looking to see what God can provide. But they celebrate, this church celebrates 10 years this August. I think that's one of the pitches I'm supposed to make to the missions committee. Maybe you can come down in August or September to help them celebrate this time. It's great to see God working in people's lives. And yes, you have some people that are converted and then they move, and some people backslide too. It's part of the process. Familia Valdivieso is Edwin and his wife, Joalis. That's a hard name to say. Their 3 kids. Emma just graduated too, so she's beginning college in Loja. That's my secret plan. My secret plan is they go to this missionaries that go and then they stay because they're integrated into the society. They have their businesses going, they have their kids staying there, and so, okay, we're staying here. We're going to be pillars of the church and help it keep going forward. Edwin is a great teacher, great people person, evangelist. Joalis is a second-generation Christian. Her dad is very well known in Venezuela. This team has done well. Juan and Luz, or Esperanza, they have kids that are now outside of the home, so that's why they're not there. But he and his wife were converted through this ministry. Actually, this is the second family that was converted in Loja, came to the school, and now are doing mission work. And the other one is doing mission work in Pereira, Colombia, with our Pereira team. So excited about them. I go back. Edwin is sells. This is his bivocation. His vocational is he sells shoes that I think he imports from Colombia, and he also makes shoe closets or other things, cabinets and closets. Luz, Juan's wife, she's a seamstress, and she's kind of working mostly with pajamas and nightwear and that sort of thing. I just bought some for Julie the other day. She does a really good job. And Juan is kind of her publicity and selling and collection, and so that's how they've worked their bivocational angle there. For those that don't know very much about it, what we do is the team, the family that's going in, we help find a church that'll come alongside them and partner with them for a minimum salary. Right now that's $470 in the U.S. And yet we know that's not a livable wage. They really need to make at least another or more, and we give our blessings. If your business can do more, great, do it. And so that's the business angle, so that when the time finishes for their partnership with the U.S., they're not just scrambling at the end to figure out what to do. And so they, Juan and Luz, have this business while Edwin is working more with shoes and the other. I want to leave time for questions. This is a class, right? So I'm going to end right here. I was last week on the beach near Manta, one of our church plants there. And I saw something that was kind of discouraging. I saw a dog going in the sand and digging up something, and then I looked over, and what was he doing? He was getting the baby turtles. And I'm like, oh man, not the baby turtles. And my daughter ran out there, no, get away, trying to protect the turtles. I was reading up on it, and actually only even less than 1% of baby turtles make it. Isn't that crazy? And so there's so many, especially this is the Galapagos turtles, they'll lay 50 to 80 eggs, but so many NGOs or environmental people are trying to help increase that number, right? So they have more baby turtles that make it. And your first inclination is, okay, let's go put them in the water. They're gathered their nest, they're out, let's go put them in the water so that they can go on and swim. But that's what you're not supposed to do. What you're supposed to do is help them find the light themselves. See, the sun and the moon, a lot of will reflect on the water, and then they go towards the water. Problem is light pollution from us, humans. They get disoriented, and they'll go toward the street lamps. And then you have the predators that we bring along, our dogs and that sort of thing. So I was just thinking, Lord, with all this transition going on, I wonder if we can learn something from the turtles. What can we do to protect them from the light pollution and let them see the true light, which is Christ? What can we do to not just pick them up and put them where we want and think, okay, great, I rescued 100, when really, by putting them in the water, we've disoriented them and hurt for future generations when they've got to go back to nesting, and many of them drowned. What you're supposed to do is let them struggle back to the water. They've got to make it on their own back to the water, and they've got to see the true light. And you know where I'm going with this, with Christ and Him being our true north and our true light. As a mission, we want this to take place. We want natural methods of going forward into the next generation. Even here at South Yukon, many of the people that were involved in our work from the beginning, you're passing that off. You're passing the torch to others. What does it mean for this church going forward? What does it mean? I'm sorry, I've been reading lots of material about the second half of life. So what does it mean for that second mountain or that second half of life? How do we want to live it? Paul talked about being a mother to this church in Thessalonica and loving them in a certain way. I'm having to love my own kids in a certain way, a different way, and say, okay, now it's time. It's time for you to go. And I'm going to be here, but at the same time, you're going to have to make some decisions yourself, provide for your own car insurance or things like that. You're going to have to make your own mistakes as well. And so as we, as a congregation, think about the future for ourselves and think about the future of our involvement in missions, I want us to look at that. I want us to think about how we can be a parent, not a helicopter parent, a parent that empowers and launches. This is where I want to open up for questions. It can be about turtles, but I have more limited knowledge about the turtles. I don't know if we need, I'll repeat the question when I hear it. How about that? We've got 10 minutes left. And there was silence. Any question about the work, about Loha, about our family? That's fine. Rod?
You tell about the people from the U.S. that come in,
Okay.
what they do.
Okay. We do not have an AIM team. We haven't had AIM teams in a while, but we do internships. And especially at the camp, they can go and work with the camp, work with groups that come. I took on 2 girls from York this year, and they helped me with groups, and I think they've learned a lot. I was telling the dad this morning, I felt like I'm making an impact in their lives, and I feel good about that. I did hardening groups the last 2, so if OC wants to get in there now that I have a little bit of connection, we could do that. But it's usually a summer thing. With York, I was able to give them Bible credit for missions. What did they call that? An internship, and they had to do 120 hours with evaluations and stuff. So there are those opportunities for sure. Yes. I wouldn't say the government is hostile. They're trying to attend to a difficult situation with the narcotráfico, the drug traffic. coming through our country from Peru, coming up the coast and stuff. So, no, they're not hostile. In fact, Americans we're looked at with a lot of welcome. And where we're at, yes, but we still have to take precautions. We're in a big city. We don't get out at night. Pretty much, I miss that. I really miss being able to go and walk wherever, but after 9, we try to be indoors, as most everybody does in the country. Well, yes, you do, but it's usually targeted to the gang violence and stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of things that we miss. Yeah.
Along with biblical studies, did they receive vocational?
Yes. Yes. That second year, we try to pair them up with an institution that is of their interest, of their technical skill, of their interest. Now, what you can do in 1 year is probably just a taste of what they need to continue on afterwards. So all of them will get a vocational training that's recognized in the country in something. We've done baking and pasteleria, and we've done beautician training. We've done electrical engineering, car mechanics, and motorcycle mechanics. The guy that was baptized in Loja, he did motorcycle mechanic, and now in Pereira, that's his business. In fact, he's worked himself up to he's second in command of the whole shop. So, yeah, we want that to happen. Gene? Yes. Now, part of the presentation was we're doing some changing in our curriculum. We're going to emphasize more the 2-year term, which will be a bachillerato. It would be like a certificate in biblical studies. Now, our licensure or our bachelor's degree that also is connected with Sunset has that course, and that's more in the 3rd year. Yes, we do both. Yep. Yeah, this guy's like, these are core things that I wish. Yeah, there's a good. What would you say, Dad? I mean, anywhere from $15 to $500. I mean, about 60. Okay. Yeah. And we have a wonderful man who was who retired from the business world, and he is our non-paid CFO that I meet with every month, just being good stewards with God's money. And at our we need to advertise this at our summit in Norman, Oklahoma, 3rd weekend, which is the 17th of October, 16th and 17th. 17th and 18th of October, we're going to be right here in your backyard, Norman, Oklahoma, at the Almeida Church. And there, I mention this because there we always present the finances for the last year. Yes. Man, it must have been a while ago that 2012. Yes. The Children's Home is no longer part of Operation Ecuador. They removed themselves from it. Long story, but they're still serving the children, less tied to the Churches of Christ, but still doing that. I love it when people have questions, so I'm trying to see your hands. Medical missions. Okay. Mostly we've been doing medical missions on the river just because the Kumani provides that great spot for our doctors and nurses, medical staff, and translators and whatever. And we can go upriver or downriver or have the people come to us on the compound. Sometimes we, about every other year, go to Riobamba because there's several Quechua churches that also live in rural areas and able to serve them. We had to do that a couple times in a row because of security. I could see Dad ready to answer something else. Great. Medical missions have been a way to help people get involved with the work coming down for a week, but it opens doors for the church. We always only go to places where they can give some follow-up and speak a good name for Jesus while they're there. Last question. Spanish, but there are Chachi in the area, but they all speak Spanish too. Yeah, and this year we're graduating. I'm already in the next school year. This year we're graduating a Chachi and his family that will go back. We're really excited about that. Lord bless you. May Jesus shine all kinds of peace on you. Thank you for being the light for him here in South Yukon and partnering with us in such a faithful way. There's the chimes. All right. God bless you.